Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Siem Reap. And I know it's hard to imagine, but right now where we're standing, this used to be all underwater back when the Khmer were at their peak. This is the middle of the East Baray, which is the humongous water storage that the people at Angkor used to irrigate their crops and everything else. This used to hold water, but now it's completely dry. And so we're going to look at a temple that used to be in the middle of it. And we're going to look around. This is a 10th century temple, kind of similar to the Pre Rup that I made a video of a while back. So you can take a look at it and compare between the two. So let's go walk around this temple and I'll tell you a little bit about what I know and we'll see what we see. This is part of what it looks like now. You can see there's a road that goes right down through the middle of it, and they got a bike path, and the temple is up here. Now, I was talking to one of the ladies that lives here just a little bit ago, because in the parking lot they have all the vendors and stuff, and she told me that she was born in '82 and she's never seen water in this Baray. She said she saw a little bit one time on the back side of this temple, but mostly now they just grow rice and stuff like that in here. So this will have some cool looking elephants is what I've read about. And it was a Hindu temple when it was first built. So I'm kind of excited to see this one. I always like these mountain temples. And this is the little vendor set up right here. So when you pull in, they're always, they jump right on you and they're asking if you want like a cold drink or something to eat. And they try to sell you t-shirts and scarves and stuff like that. And they're all pretty nice. These are all people that are here trying to feed their family. So it's nice to be able to support them if you can. So this is where we're going to go up. We're going to go check this out. This is a nice look at the front of this. So you can see the lions right here by the entrance. Then over there is a humongous elephant. So this was built by King Rajendravarman. I know I mispronounced that. He was the king back whenever this was built. And it was finished up like in 953, I believe. And it has the outer wall here and the base. And then we'll have like 3 tiers. And it'll have like a normal mountain temple that you see. It has a center prong. And then it has the 4 on the cardinal directions. And that's typical what you see in the Hindu temples. So it symbolizes Mount Meru. And this here's the ticket check, so we'll show them our ticket and then we'll go up here and look at this. So it looks like the entrance is under reconstruction. So this would have had like the archway over the top, the normal stuff, but it's all completely disintegrated. And I don't see a lot of rubble here, so I'm not sure what they did with any of the stones. But if this was at one time underwater, it could be quite a bit down in the mud. You can see there are some laterite stones and stuff like that out here. And then you can see the elephant over there. And the steps are behind these wooden steps, but they're kind of treacherous to climb up. And you can see the 2 lions right here at the entrance. So this is pretty nice here. So they carved this out of sandstone. Looks like one huge piece of sandstone that they carved it out of. And I really like how they did it. You can see the tail comes right up behind its head. And then way over there is an elephant. Let's go look at the elephant. You can see the outer wall here. This is the entrance. And this would have been a covered arch here. And that would have been all covered. Would have been a small little building. There's not a whole lot left of it. The lintels are pretty much gone except for that little piece right there. And it still has those, the little windows that they use. I really like how they did those columns. And then you can see the outer wall of this temple, and then back over there there's another elephant. Oh, this is cool. And you can see we're already getting up high. This is awesome right here. So you can see how the elephant was carved. This looks like it was multiple pieces. You can see the seam right across there and right around the legs. You can see they have the rope. That is cool. So quite a bit of detail went into this. And you see these sometimes at the Thai temples, and they'll have kind of similar to this. They would have had longer tusks. They would have came up, and you can see even they have the eyes. And then here, so somebody has came and they tied a little flower, like a lotus right there. And then they have the piece of wood in his trunk. They put that here. It's obviously not from the Khmer. And you can see way over here, there's 2 more lions on that entrance. And then there's an elephant way over there in that corner also. So I got distracted by the cool looking elephant. Now let's go in through the entrance here. More of these laterite stones. You can see this sandstone doorway. And this is weathered right here just from people walking across it. I mean, how many millions of feet have climbed up these stairs over the centuries? So from 953 is when it was opened up. Would have been fantastic to see whenever this would have been the Baray over here, and you would have been able to come over here by boat or however they did it and see this temple up here on a mountain in the middle of a lake. So they're restoring this right here. That's really, really tall. Looks like those little prongs there are completely gone. Same as over here, and you can see some more of the elephants. And they would have had some smaller little buildings right here that are just down to the base. And this would have been a side little room when you first came in. They would have had probably an image in there, so people would have came up. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to see on this lower level. We'll look in this little building here. You can see some of the laterite stones that have collapsed down. And then the lions right here. We'll look up there. We'll climb those steps in a sec. This is that little tiny building. So the sandstone columns are still here. You can see the little notches for like the stones that would be standing upright right in there. And part of those little things in the windows. You can see over here, these would have been open to give you the light and the natural breeze. Yeah, and this would have all been covered. This would have been really, really nice. You can see here, so they cut these stones and then they notched them. You can see how they notched this also. Oh, okay. So these are at an angle. So that would have been like the doorway. That's kind of a cool way that they would have done it. And there's not a whole lot more to see over here. Just to give you an idea of the precision that they had these walls built. So they cut these exact, and then they just joined them right together. Now there's some moss growing on the seam and everything, but these stones have been sitting here just like that for over 1,000 years. And then the sandstone here. So this temple, they used all the durable material that you see in these Khmer temples. They used the laterite blocks, they used the sandstone, they would have used brick, and they would have used the plaster. There's another elephant right there on the corner. And then this small little building over here. You can see the base that they had was all these laterite stones. And this would have had a lintel over the door sitting right here on the top of this column, and the one over here that's kind of broken off. And then we have another small little room. Yeah, this would have been nice. On this tier right here, you see they have all these little buildings. This was kind of a common styling of the 10th century temples. They would have had the libraries and all of those in a series of buildings right here on the side, on the lower level. You can see here, this is different. They didn't use the same style in the windows. They used just the sandstone that they just cut. Oh, and there's a lizard right there. Kind of made me startle. I saw the bushes moving. So they just cut those sandstone and then they just put them right here to give you the natural light and ventilation. And you could see up on that upper platform. Let's walk up those steps when I first came up just to look in that little building, and then we'll go around and we'll go up to the next tier. So here this part of it is. So they have the laterite stones for stairs. And then they have this blocked off because they're doing the restoration right here. You can see up there is all brick. And then they have a little walkway. You could go over there to that elephant. You can see this is kind of, they've restored it and they put a piece of metal around there to keep it from coming out. And then they have another building over there, and another elephant, and another one of the lions here. This is looking right down here into the jungle. And that would have been the Baray. That would have been water right down there. And I guess this would have been like a boat landing or something here. So people would have been able to come up. There would have been a lion right here. That one is pretty much gone. That one there is an okay shape. They would have came right in here. These would have been a covered walkway. And they would have had the little buildings right here. And you would have walked right through here. There would have been images to pray. The normal stuff that you would see. These would have been all little working buildings all through it right here. So the Hindu priests would have been here on site, walking around doing their stuff. And you would have came through, and then you would have went up these stairs and up into the center part of the temple. And you can see more of the small little buildings and tons of dragonflies. I don't know if you'll be able to see those on the camera. So we'll go up here, and these steps are not even at all. They're kind of a little hard. So if you have problems with your knees, you'd have issues getting up here. You can see the tops of these walls and the sandstone and all the laterite stones. And this would have all had an enclosed wall. So you go up over these high thresholds and then you go back down. Now in Thailand, they always have, at temples, they have a high threshold because they believe that ghosts, when the ghosts come around, the ghosts can't climb. So when they hit the high threshold, they just skirt right around the building. They don't go inside. That's the rationale for that. I don't know if it was the same for the Khmer. Probably so. Those kind of traditions and superstitions, they seem to stick around. So this is the second tier. So you had a library over there. You'd have had some of these smaller prongs. And then we're going to go up to the top tier of this mountain temple. And all these openings are facing to the east. So let's take a look in here. So this one is made out of the brick. It's kind of interesting. You can see they all have holes in them. And then inside right here would have had their image inside of there. And check out the lintel. Well, that's right behind that wood. I don't know if you can really see that. That's the three-headed elephant. No, it's a one-headed elephant. And then I think that's Vishnu riding the top of the elephant. Oh, that's kind of cool. This is another one of those. So you can see the lintel. That one there looks like a Garuda. There's nothing inside of this one other than some mold growing in there, some moss. And then back over there is where they're redoing that. And you can see how here that this building is collapsing. So they put an emergency, like a piece of wood there to brace it to keep it from falling down. So they have this right here so you can see how this is constructed. This is all sandstone right here, and they carved the pattern all the way down. And this is the last tier. Now, if you've saw my video of the Pre Rup, you can get an idea how tall the walls were there. This one here is pretty tall, but it's about half as tall as that final wall at Pre Rup. And you can see here, they've carved the bottom of this here also, and then the stairs. And we'll go up to the top platform. All right, so they have some trees and stuff growing up there. And then this is the center prong with some more of the lions around. Oh, this is great. And this one here, you can see the openings are all facing to the east. And then right here, you see some more of the lions with those tails that coming up right behind their head. We can see here how this is constructed. So this is in brick. And you can see right here they've carved the figures in the brick. It's kind of interesting with all of these holes in it. I guess they've wore that way because I thought at first they were maybe drilled, but they're a little uneven. And then you can see this lintel, and there would have been another one, more patterns up there at the top. And you can see another figure right over here. And then right inside, now it's just a massive hole. And that would have been like the linga right there. And then you can see up to the top, this smells really seriously like guano. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of the brick. You can see kind of the different staircases as it gets smaller. Yeah, this is really neat. Oh, and this is really awesome here. So this looks like what they've restored. And they put the little figure like the Roku. You can see that monster right there. And the modern, like the ties, that's the monster that eats the moon. That's what it looks like to me. You can see another one of the little figures. And this is what that gate at the front will kind of look like. You'll see it'll go up to a prong. So hopefully they completely restore it. This is the backside. The backside, they don't put as much effort into it because it's, you know, the front is all that matters. When people see it, they can be impressed and want to stop and take a look. And this would have had all the styling all the way up. Kind of interesting with the use of bricks up here on this top platform. The bricks aren't as durable as the laterite stones, so the bricks do weather quite a bit more. This is a huge platform here also. And we have another same kind of styling. Yeah, and you can see, yeah, I believe that is Vishnu on this one here also. You see he's riding like the elephant. The elephant's tusk is broken off. You can see all the rest of them. You can see this lintel here. And these are the 4 little ones that are around. We have one more small one, and then this is the center prong. Looks like they have some that they're partially in the process of restoring here. Actually, this might have been, yeah, this actually isn't going to be restored. This is just what was right here. So this might have been like a cistern with like water in it, I guess. Some of those had those up here. And this would have been maybe a pedestal for an image. And it was right here by the east entrance to this. Let's see what it looks like inside here. Have some more of the sandstones. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so you have the dragon heads or the naga. You have the Erawan, Vishnu riding on top of it. The one back there had a Ganesh. I don't see a Ganesh in this one. And then this is the main image in here. So this was Hindu originally, and now it has the Buddha statue. It's opened at the top, and it smells like guano also. So all these temples, you know, they were Hindu, and then they were converted to Buddhism. You can see how they carved in these bricks here also. There would have been more styling all the way up. So I don't know how tall this prong is, but it is just absolutely gigantic. Probably 30 meters or so, and this is up on a 3rd tier. And you can see out into the jungle a little bit. As you can see, all that dense jungle. Now I was hoping to be able to see over, if you go over that away, those trees are in the way, but you should be able to see the towers of Angkor Wat poking up above the trees, but we can't see it from this temple. So it's going to finish up our video over here at this East Mebon temple. This is fantastic. It was opened up in 953, and I'm not going to try to say the king's name again, but it was supposed to be like honoring his parents. That was what they originally built this here for. And it was a Hindu temple, and it was dedicated originally to the god Shiva. So you see that, and you see some of the other gods that are all around here also. It's quite interesting. It's the condition isn't as good as like the Pre Rup or some of those other temples, but it's worth a visit. You know, if you're in this area, pop over here and spend, you know, 30 minutes or so climbing around up here on this mountain temple. Now, it's pretty easy when you're in Angkor to get temple fatigue because there's just so many temples to see. They're everywhere. But, you know, if you can get through that and just come over here and just think about how much work went into these. The Khmer, they cut all these stones, they hauled them, and they just cut stones. It's just unbelievable how much work they did. And this was just out here with rice paddies and everything all around here. The Baray was built for the water storage. So yeah, come here and have that mindset of just thinking about how much work the old people did. They didn't have modern tools. They just cut these stones with the old antique equipment that they had, but they were amazingly skilled and really, really dedicated. Just shows you the power of man. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this temple. I really enjoy coming over here and climbing around on these things. And if you did, smash the like button and leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. If you've been here before, let me know also. And from over here in Siem Reap, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.